My name is Robert Drysdale. I teach out of Drysdale Jiu-Jitsu, Las Vegas. I've been training Jiu-Jitsu for 14 years now. I've got my black belt 8 years ago. I've done most of my training in Brazil, but considerable amount of my training in the United States. Yeah, this is what I love. This is what I do. This is my passion. I've been doing this my whole adult life, and this is my full-time occupation. Yeah, I guess I was like 16 in Brazil, and then it started becoming more popular right around the time, and I've heard about it, and I heard about the UFC and all these crazy, and I became interested. It was like, huh, that might be cool. Let's give it a try. I remember I had a friend of mine that had trained, but he had stopped training for work reasons, and he told me you should definitely go check it out. I mean, it's a lot of fun. I kind of walked in by myself one day, and I saw the first class, and asked the instructor if I can try the next class, and he said, absolutely, come over. And then that was it. It was like crack, man. I was on it. That was the first training partner with the chick. She made me tap twice, and I was like, man, this stuff really works. I remember getting beat up by a blue belt, like he just toyed with me, like I had no idea. I was a little bit bigger than him, so I thought I could do okay. I got demolished, and but I was like happy about it. It was a really cool feeling. Like, oh, this is really cool. I want to be like that. I want to be as good as him. Certain things I have a hard time with till this day. Other things came easily. It's funny how we learn. It's interesting. It's hard to explain. Like I have moves that some of my best moves I've never drilled them once. I just saw them and like that's brilliant. And then next day I was doing it and I started doing it like as if I've been doing it for 1,000 years. It was right there. It was natural. Other moves I've drilled a bunch and I've tried a bunch and it just don't work for me. I started teaching when I was 19 in Brazil, and a couple years later I opened my school. I was around 2003, I think. And I opened my own school in Brazil, and that went on for 4 years until I moved to Vegas. So I'm used to having a school, and I mean when I opened my first school in Brazil, it was kind of like I was a big deal. Like, oh man, I own my own jiu-jitsu school. I think I was a brown belt at the time, maybe purple belt. And I was having the time of my life, man. It was so fun. I remember putting the gym together, inviting everyone to come over, and expecting I'll have 50 students in 2 months, and I had like, after 4 years, I still had like 20, 15, This is just the way it is. And then moving to Vegas, of course, was like the next step in my career. And I'm a very completely different coach when I'm teaching MMA. Like the mindset changes. I won't say completely, but it changes a lot, And I think that if I can say one thing about myself as a coach is that I'm able to spot the differences and be able to work around and find a solution for a problem. Okay, we have a problem here. Let's find a solution for the problem. I mean, there are a lot of good coaches out there, But one thing I'm willing to do is I'm willing to acknowledge that there's a lot about sport jiu-jitsu that doesn't work for MMA, and I'm willing to work around that and figure out what works best for the sport of MMA and stick to the things that work. Like a lot of more traditionalist jiu-jitsu practitioners or instructors, they're set in their own ways and they want to do things the way they've always been doing it. This is how you do it, and it's like, hey man, that's not working in a fight. And like, why are you sticking to that? Let's move on. Let's evolve. Let's assimilate elements from wrestling, or let's train with small gloves. Let's train no gi. Let's try to make it as close as possible to an MMA fight. If you expect them competing at the highest level, you have to train with high caliber training partners. You have to give yourself time to learn. You have to be willing to learn. You have to be open-minded. I would say I'm transitioned today. I feel more comfortable on occasion I do in the gun jiu-jitsu. I've been doing this long enough to the point where I feel like I'm past that transitional phase and I'm ready to have a successful career. So it's something I enjoy. I enjoy striking. I enjoy the wrestling. I didn't like it at first, but now I got the bug. Now I understand. I'm getting a little bit better. So I'm starting to really enjoy it. Like the striking, the takedown, take the guy down, back to your feet. Just that whole like an MMA fight, like all these different elements, all these different martial arts coming together in the octagon. It's something I enjoy, something I appreciate, and it's fun. I feel that transition has been more or less. You win the UFC belt is the ultimate goal. To me, it goes beyond that. Like I know I can achieve more than that. I know I can win the belt 2, 3, 4 times. I know I can be, I like to think like that. I know I can be the undefeated champion for the rest of my career. Like I have high expectations for myself. So there's not one specific goal. If you asked me this question when I was a white belt, I would have said, winning the Jiu-Jitsu World Championship at the black belt level. But if I had said that, like, I've accomplished more than that already. Like, why limit myself to this if I can go all the way over there? So I don't put limits to myself as to where I'm gonna be 5 years from now. I want to reach my maximum potential, and I know that's a long way to go.